Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Thank you for joining me today. So we got a lot to discuss. So if you're watching the replay of this or you come in later, I didn't have time. I'm limited on time because I only do this while I'm driving home. So just know that I mean y'all the best. I wasn't trying to just forget about y'all. So today, the head of the Secret Service has resigned her post. Now, what that means for the country. We currently now have no one leading the Secret Service, but I'm assuming that to prevent a bad look, the White House is probably going to make sure that they have every resource possible to protect not only Donald Trump, but President Biden if he ever comes outside again. Because ever since President Biden has stepped back out of the election picture for re-election, no one's seen him. Anybody have signs of life for President Biden? Anybody? Anybody? Hello? Bueller? Bueller? So, oh man, I don't even know where to start, guys. This has been the most insane election cycle of my life, and it's only July. It's not even August yet, or September. Hell, we haven't even had an October surprise yet. I cannot wait for even though I'm not a big fan of what the Democrats believe in, I will probably watch the DNC convention because that thing is going to be hilarious. They're going to shout all their BS. They're going to shout all their oh my God, Trump's a racist and he's going to endanger the democracy and he's gonna ban stuff and he's gonna send people back to their country of origin and blah 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 blah. It's gonna be so hilarious, guys. The fear mongering that's gonna be going on inside of that convention is going to be hands down better than Saturday Night Live, 10 times better. You cannot tell me that people spouting a bunch of bullshit that is not true, even though they strive and hope to God it is not going to be hilarious. So, a couple things I want to address. Number one, Project 2025. So, I have done some more research because one of the people I follow on YouTube came out. Sorry, I don't follow him on YouTube. I watch his show on YouTube, and I'm going to name the name. It's Glenn Beck. He came out and he talked to the leader of the group that created Project 2025. So, Project 2025 does exist. However, the rhetoric surrounding it and all the claims they're making, they are all, or mostly false. The only claim I've heard so far that is actually true is they want to get rid of the Department of Education. Here's why I agree with that move. Okay? So, the Department of Education is run by a bunch of liberal hacks that feel you should do what they want and study what they want, so therefore they're going to enforce their will upon you and your children. Just like the vaccine mandates and all this other garbage, they're going to try and enforce it all on us and our kids. And last time I checked, we live in a free country and we should have a choice what our children are taught. We should have a choice what's injected into our children. And if we choose not to have our children vaccinated by certain things, including the COVID vaccine, we have every right in the world to do that, and it shouldn't be considered a bad thing, and we shouldn't be vilified for it. Now, when I was a kid, I I had maybe one or two teachers I did not like. Other than that, I loved my teachers. And when I became older and more open-minded when it came to school, even though they had opposing arguments, like, for example, one of my favorite teachers of all time, and you guys are going to probably be astonished by this aspect, he was an atheist. He was a realist, and he loved to make you question stuff. He was the George Carlin of high school teachers. His name was Mr. Barger, if I remember correctly, B-A-R-G-E-R, I believe is how it was spelled. Now, I had some friends that were Christians. We even went to the same church. And some of those guys, the minute he stated his viewpoint and what we were going to be studying, those guys, they walked out and never came back. And I applaud them for their bravery and standing by their morals. However, at the same time, I didn't personally feel that listening to somebody talk about how they feel that there is no heaven, there is no hell, and our consciousness just fades away into the dust when we die, I thought that was interesting. And as an adult, I think that's so much more interesting with the wiser I've become with all my years in life. Now, one of the biggest things people talk about is when it comes to teachers is they don't want them forcing stuff down their throat. So they confuse a charter school. Well, some charter schools they're public, but they have waiting lists. So since we pay taxes as parents and as individuals that don't have kids, see, that's something else. I have always been a huge believer that if you don't have kids, you should not have to pay the taxes that go to the schools. I do not feel that that is a justified expedition of your taxes because you don't have a representation inside of those schools and you garner no benefit from the tax money spent at those schools, and you have no say in what that money is spent on at those schools because you don't have kids. You can't go to a PTA meeting when you don't have kids in a school and not get laughed out. That's why I feel the Department of Education should be, if not revamped, completely gotten rid of. Let the schools be ran by the states. Just like all the abortion laws and how people feel about that, that should be put back to the states. And that's where Trump has left it when Roe v. Wade was overturned by the Supreme Court. That pushed it back to the states. So each state can come up with their own law on abortion. Great. If you don't like Florida's law, go to California. If you don't like California's law, go to Texas. If you don't like Texas's law, go to Virginia. If you don't like Virginia's law, go to Massachusetts. Find a state that their beliefs align with your beliefs. Their education system aligns with your education system. I can remember so many times kids talking about, oh yeah, my mom's we're gonna move next year. We're gonna go live in this area so we can go to this school and be in this school district because this school district has higher grade averages. They have higher college acceptance averages. They have this, they have that, they have this, they have that. I'm just like, that's fair. If you move to an area where you can go to a school, because they didn't really have open enrollment in the schools back then, if you wanted to get out of a certain school because it, pardon the French, was a shithole and had bad teachers and bad staff and was in a bad area, if you wanted to get away from that back in the day, you had to move. I can remember when I was growing up, we lived right on the borderline between two different high schools. They were both about a mile away. They were both, I could walk to them. It wasn't a big deal to walk to school back then. And a lot of people have a problem with it now, unless you live super close. But there wasn't a problem with walking to school back then. And I didn't care which high school I went to because I had friends at both. Because the middle school I went to, the middle school I went to was just up the street from this high school that I ended up not going to because I lived on the other side of the street. I can remember also when I was growing up that my mom separated from my stepdad for a few months, and when she did that, I almost ended up having to move schools because I was now living across a line in a certain address. Now, because of that, now if I don't move back to where I was, I have to go to a different school. Why? Because it wasn't fair for me to go to this school when the tax dollars from where my mom was currently living went to a different school. So therefore, they were hosting a child that was no longer funded technically. That's how it used to work back then. Everything else in Project 2025 that the liberals and ideologues have been spouting about is false. There is no nationwide ban on abortion planned. They're not gonna reduce or eliminate civil rights. They're not going to go back to Jim Crow. All sorts of crazy shit has been muttered about the 2025 project, and it's such garbage. If instead of listening to talking heads, guys, be your own person, go to the website and find out for yourself what it says. Read the damn thing. It so annoys the living hell out of me that people just refuse to stop being fucking lazy and read. If you are so lazy that you would rather listen to a talking head than read for yourself and gain some knowledge, you're in a bad state. You're in a very, very, very bad state, because guess what? Those that choose to go out and educate themselves and be better and learn more so they can know more, and then when they're in a conversation, they actually know what the hell they're talking about instead of saying what the talking heads have told them, they look a lot better. When you start spouting off some bullshit you heard on MSNBC or the CNN or NBC or ABC, when you start repeating some of the shit you've heard on that, you're talking to somebody who's actually read the information, you look dumb. And if you like looking dumb, continue on. If you don't like looking dumb, educate yourself. Come on, people. I don't know, guys. I think the biggest issue I have with everything we're dealing with, yes, the right is more united than the left right now. I can completely agree with that. The Republican Party, all those that have any similarity to what the Republican Party stands for, we are very united right now. And I think that's an awesome thing. And I love the fact that our party has finally pulled its head out of its ass, gotten some good leadership, got rid of Ronna McDaniel, and now we have some good leadership. But what we need to do is we need to take this leadership, we need to take what we're doing, we need to take it to the next level. You cannot hope in any way, shape, or form to garner moderates or even some Democrat-aligned voters unless you show them that we're different. If we are the epitome, if we're the exact same thing that the left says we are, or the Democrats claim we are, ooh, Indian Scout, nice ride, dude. That's a nice bike. If we resemble anything like what the talking heads say Republicans or conservatives are, we lose it. We lose the chance to bring on new people that don't understand why we feel the way we do. We lose the opportunity to get to know people so they can understand we're human too. We make mistakes too. I'm a Christian. I believe Christ died on the cross for my sins and that someday I will go to heaven by his grace, not by my works. I bust my ass. I work my ass off trying to take care of my kids and be there for my mom and be there for my family. But I can only do so much. And I heard it said the other day by a pastor. He goes, I thought Christians didn't cuss. We do. We may not do it as openly as you think, but if we stub our toe, yeah, there's a good chance we might drop an F-bomb. If we step on a Lego going to the bathroom in the middle of the night, we might say, ah, shit, that hurt. But it's not untruthful. The emotion is true behind that statement. The Bible states that you should not say falsehoods, you should say what is righteous. Well, when you say something that's righteous, that means it's true. It means it goes along with your morals and what Christ taught. Now, would a pastor teaching from the pulpit that drops an F-bomb every 5 words be very successful as a Christian pastor? I don't know. Would he? He might attract a group of people that they were scared to go to church because they thought they were going to get yelled at if they cussed. He might bring to God and Christ and to salvation a whole new generation of people that were misunderstood. Why? Because he decided to speak the truth differently. And I truly feel that's the direction we as a party, the Republican Party, and we as conservatives, and we as Christians need to go. If you drop an F-bomb, don't feel bad. Don't feel guilty. Were you speaking truth when you said it? If you were, don't feel bad. Because just like when someone says, oh, that's fire, fire is the same thing as fuck in my book, because chicken wings you ate last night, they may have been fire, but they were not made of fire. They were not on fire. So therefore, in the meaning that you mean behind them, it's different than what the original definition of the word fire is. So even though you're speaking truth with your emotions and how you felt in the whole situation, you're not speaking a lie, so therefore it's okay to say that. Slang, lingo, whatever you want to call it, it's fair game. But if you look at it like that, saying a cuss word is the same thing as saying lingo. It's just cuss words it's just words that people recognize as faux pas. As, oh my gosh, did he just drop an F-bomb in our household? Oh my gosh. Henry, don't talk like that. People will think you're uncultured. I've heard people that are rich talk. The cultured people talk. They cuss more than a sailor does. Because they don't care. Because they speak truth and they know what they're good at and they do what they're good at. I guarantee if you had a private one-on-one conversation over a glass of brandy, scotch, a couple beers with any millionaire out there, I guarantee in the first 10 minutes, they'll cuss at least 10 times. Why? Because everybody cusses. It unfortunately is a part of our culture. But look, for example, the differences between our culture and other culture. The C word, I'm not going to say it because I don't know what YouTube will do to me if I do say it. But the C word that most people use when referring to a female of the more free-willed variety, or they're just mad at them, that's common language in Australia and the UK. They say that like we say the F word. Do people look at them wrong? If you're from the US, probably. If you're from their country, no, because it's said as an insult, just like dumb fuck or dumbass or shithead or any other swear word combination insult you want to use. They're all said in the same fashion. but it's on their culture. Did you know if you say the word bloody hell inside of a restaurant, that's the same as saying, oh, fucking bullshit. Not in definition, but in levels of vulgarity. Or if you call someone a wanker, that's like dropping MF on somebody, calling somebody an MFer. You call somebody in the U.S. an MFer, oh man, they're ready to throw hands. Yo, you blah, 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 blah. But over in the UK, you call someone a wanker, oh, dude, they're not only ready to throw hands, they're ready to pull out a butter knife and go at you, man. That's a joke, in case you didn't know. So, in the UK, they once had what is it called? A campaign. Save a life, turn in your knife. And they were doing kind of what we've done here in the US in certain neighborhoods of save someone, turn in your gun. No questions asked, no criminal charges, nothing like that. It's just been used to get the guns off the street. And then the guns are destroyed. Okay? That's stuff they've had in the UK. Well, why'd they have that stuff like that in the UK? Because that's their culture. That's just how they did things. I will admit the head of the Secret Service damn near got her head chopped off yesterday when it came to the House hearing on her failures as a leader in that organization. And oh my goodness, direct lumber door just passed me. I know them. They're funny. But it's just, I think in this culture, in this day and age, we worry too much about petty shit. If you don't like cuss words, so be it. Congratulations. You align with 60% of the population. But you don't have a right to tell someone not to use their freedom of speech. If you don't like guns, congratulations. You're with 45% of the U.S. or 35%. I don't even know what the numbers are anymore of people that don't like guns. Congratulations. But you have no right to infringe on somebody else's right to own a gun. Oh, and that's something else. Kamala is a lying witch. And I'll tell you this right now. Kamala lied in her acceptance speech or her coronation speech or whatever the hell you want to call it when Biden's taped congratulations and endorsement was played at the meeting. It wasn't on speakerphone, guys. It was a tape. Something has gone drastically wrong with Biden and he's in hiding. And they say he's going to have a address to the nation here soon. I'd be willing to bet you that address to the nation is not live. I'd be willing to bet you that address to the nation is taped. And if it is live, they pumped that dude with so many drugs, he'll be like he was the last time he did a speech inside of his office. But so she said that Trump's trying to, that's another thing on the Project 2025, to reduce Social Security. Nope, that's a lie. Raise the retirement age. That's a lie. Increase taxes. Definitely a lie. Give billionaires more tax breaks. That's another lie. Like I said before, and I can prove it now, that I know Project 2025 is a real thing, but I know where to find the real words that are in it. All those things that the left is saying about Project 2025 are bullshit lies. They're full of shit. And I'm sorry, but anything that's full of shit, you need to get out of your house, including the House and Senate of the United States of America. And there's a lot of Democrats right now that are full of shit, and we need them out. But that's up to the voters. You cannot, in any way, shape, or form, blame the government for your life and your issues if you don't vote. And if you voted for something and it backfires on you, be adult enough to admit that, yeah, that was a poor choice. That was a wasted vote. I shouldn't have voted for them. They were garbage. And it's okay. We get it. It's okay to say, I shouldn't have voted for that person. It was a mistake. I've heard millionaires say it. The most recent one was The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. He came out and said he regrets backing Biden. He regrets endorsing Biden. He regrets voting for Biden. Why? Because Biden has fundamentally destroyed this country. And he keeps trying to do it more, but thank God we have a conservative Supreme Court that keeps shooting him down. Look, I don't know how many people are actually going to see this video. I think YouTube is actually trying to eliminate my vision, my ability to be seen. Because when I started filming these videos, I'd have a video up and I would have 600-700 views. I probably have only had 20 views and no comments. So YouTube, you keep doing you, man. One of these days, YouTube, Google, you're gonna learn the power of the people, and the people are going to revolt against you. It doesn't matter how deep, how much you're liked in cell phones and everything else. One of these days, somebody's going to come out with something bigger and better. Google did it. They came out with a better operating system. It ran smoother when Microsoft was trying to get into building phones. And they beat Microsoft in phones, and now they're trying to beat them in the desktop computer market. And they're getting pretty damn close to it, too. So, that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. For those of you that did watch, for those of you that hopped in, and for those of you that watched this after the fact, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to stream for those that are able to see this. And I will see you next time. Remember, pray for our country. Pray for our future president. Even pray for our current president. They all need Jesus. That's for damn sure. Have a great evening, guys. I'm out of here.